Okay, number 20, we have Logan Sargeant with the Williams, as I think the Williams is going to be quite slow, and Logan Sargeant is just a rookie. Then number 19, we have Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri. I think AlphaTauri is going to be 9th fastest car, and I think Tsunoda is actually going to get beaten by Nick de Vries. I just got a feeling that's what's going to happen. Then 17th, I have Albon, as I think even though he will have the slowest car, he is going to be a better driver than the three drivers I just mentioned. And I think this season, the driver is actually going to make the difference a lot more than the previous seasons. Then 16th, Guan Yu Zhou. I think he's going to have a better season, but he's going to still make a few mistakes as he's got less experience than the drivers I put above him. And Alfa Romeo is going to be decent, but not great. Then 15th, Magnussen. And Hülkenberg ahead of him, as I think Hülkenberg will be a bit more consistent and less crash-prone than Magnussen. 13th, Bottas. Then number 12, I have Oscar Piastri, who I think is going to have a very good season, but McLaren looks to be very, very slow. So I think he's going to have a tough start of the year, and then once McLaren gets faster, he might score some good points, but I still have some more experienced drivers ahead of him. So number 11, I have Stroll, as Aston Martin's going to be fast, I think, but it's Stroll. Then 10, Pierre Gasly. I think he's going to get beaten by Ocon, as I think Ocon is very underrated, and Alpine's going to be decent, and I think Ocon's just going to edge out that battle. But then number 8, I have Norris, who I think is going to have the 6th fastest car, and maybe even worse at the start of the season, but yeah, Norris is just an amazing driver, and I think he's going to be able to extract everything out of the car and be able to beat the two Alpines. Then number 7, I have Alonso with Aston Martin. I think he's going to have a great season, even score a few podiums, maybe even fight for a win. And I think he's actually going to be in a league of his own with Aston Martin, and he's going to be very close to the big three, and also carry Aston Martin to 4th place in the constructor. Then number 6, I have Lewis Hamilton, as I think Mercedes is going to be slower than Ferrari and Red Bull. And I feel like Hamilton will try to experiment with more setups at the start of the season, just like in the 2022 season. And he's going to get beaten by George Russell, as I think that Russell will be a bit more consistent. So he's going to be in P5, just behind Sainz, who I think is going to have a better season, less mistakes, and hopefully less reliability issues for the Ferrari. But yeah, Red Bull is going to be just a better car overall, which I think is why Perez will be 3rd. I think he's still going to be a lot slower than Verstappen, and I think he's the worst driver out of the top 6, but he's still going to get 3rd because of a great car. And then 2nd, Leclerc. I think he's going to be closer than last season, but Ferrari I think has more weak points than Red Bull, which is why I predict Verstappen to win the World Championship, as no one is going to be able to beat him in a car which I think is going to be almost perfect, and is going to be able to be good in all conditions, unlike the Ferrari, which I feel will have a few more problems with setups, as seen in testing. It seems like the Ferrari is only good with a few setups, and is going to have a bit of tire degradation issues, unlike the Red Bull. Then constructor standings: 10th Williams, 9th AlphaTauri, 8th Haas, Alfa Romeo 7th, 6th McLaren, 5th Alpine, 4th Aston Martin, carried by Alonso. Then 3rd Mercedes to 2nd Ferrari, 1st Red Bull.